So yesterday was another winning day. That's a 3-day winning streak. Welcome to B Sports Picks, and today I'm going to hook you guys up with one play in baseball. Yesterday I did say that there was a little bit of a risk with the Guardians because the bottom of the ninth, the odds were kind of heavy for the Guardians to be batting at the bottom of the ninth. So, anyways, it was a risk. I was willing to take it, and sure enough, they didn't come through. So, let me keep going here. I'm gonna actually talk about the entire slate for baseball. There's gonna be some games that I'm just gonna skip over because there's too many contradictions, so it doesn't even mean much to go over them. Then I'll give you one play that I really like. Today I have 10 batter props that I threw into the VIP this morning. 11. There's 10 batter props, but 11 total plays. I'm going to give you one of them. And then inside the YouTube short, there's going to be 2 batter props. So anyways, if you want to subscribe to this channel, you're going to see the YouTube pop up. He's already working on the editing for that video if you guys want to check that out. And then, like I said, I have one play that I'm going to go over right in this video. I was working on this last night. I ended up breaking it somehow because I was updating the CSS and stuff like that. But it's very close to being done. This is called the Sharp Edge, and it's going to have every single game that's a breakdown. There's a lot of people that already paid for this, and I'm giving them actually this information here. But at the end of the day, it's going to be this, where it's going to be every single game is going to have the full breakdown. Pitching analysis, batting analysis, win probabilities, where the sharp money is at, where the current money is at, the projections, the home team to win, stuff like that. So there's a lot of information here, and that's going to be called the Sharp Edge. If you guys want that, it's free for 30 days. So let me just get into it here. Orioles versus Rockies. If you've been with me at any point in time, the Rockies, we tend to fade the Rockies a lot because the Rockies are literally the worst team in baseball. So the Orioles, we actually faded the Orioles yesterday, and I regret that because they actually beat the Guardians. So Guardians are a much better team than the Rockies, I'll tell you that. Odds are 188. They started at 188, now they're 198. You can see all the percentage here for the money and the bets. It's heavily towards the Orioles, and the line is still shifting. So when this happens, it means that the line was already heavily favored, and then it's still being pushed, which means that there's a lot of sharp money still coming in on the Orioles. There's a lot of information here. I'm not going to get into all the details because there is a lot. I'll just give you the big pointers. Win probability is 65%. Overall head-to-head trends. So one of the things I didn't like at all was that Colorado was better OPS, meaning they get on base a lot more than the Orioles for the last 7 games. But the last 7 games they've been in Colorado. So if you know anything about baseball, in Colorado they get a lot of hits. So they call that like a discrepancy. So it's not that they're better; it's just that they were at home, and when they're playing in Colorado, because they're very high up in the mountains, the ball travels a lot more. So they call this. I don't know how to word it, but basically what I'm trying to say is that the stats are favoring Colorado Rockies, but it's only because they've been playing in Colorado recently. I hope that makes sense. So, anyways, they got Kramer over here, 4.09 ERA. Compare that to Freeland, which is he's one of the worst pitchers. He got 5.19 ERA. He's only won 2 games. Compare that to this guy that has won 8 games, 94 strikeouts. They're about, 16, 17, 15 games compared to 12 games over here. So he's got a little bit more, experience. And what else? The bullpen is a little bit worse. Actually, they're a little bit better for the Orioles. So think about this. The batting is somewhat lopsided. It's somewhat even, but like I said, it's lopsided because they were playing in Colorado. So you got somewhat of a decent batting. Then you got a much better starter pitcher, and then you got a much better bullpen. Okay, so everything is matching towards Baltimore. Plus, they're getting the money, plus the sharp money. Everything is like that. So, what else do we got? bullpen is better, pitching is better, batting is similar, but like I said, he said 3 times says the altitude. Exactly. So because they've been playing in high altitudes, the ball travels a lot more and they get a lot more hits. So this is where I was talking about. They're ranked 8th right now, and it's called elite ranking compared to below average, which is 15 is right at the regular average. But again, it's a conflict because of what I just said. And then we look at the road stats for the Rockies, and the road stats are horrible. So you gotta add all that into effect here. They're 12 and 38 on the road. So it reveals that there's an inflation. That was the word I was looking for. The Coors Field inflation. Okay. Anyway, I've already talked enough about that. You got the last 27 underdog games. They've only won 33% of the time when they've been underdog, and they're on the road, which I just showed you the record. They're 12 and 38 on the road. And they've only won 33% of their games overall when they started as an underdog, which they're heavily underdogs today. This is overall season trends. Everything matches for the Orioles. Orioles are 5.1 projected score versus a 4.1. And then you can see the under. Well, it's actually the over is a little bit. I'm not looking at the over-under stuff, but you can see the under rates and all that stuff. What this means is that they got decent pitching over here. And actually for Colorado, this is a good sign, because if they're saying that the Colorado Rockies have been going on the under and they've been playing at home, that's a good sign. That means that they're not scoring a lot. Okay. That's why I like this so much, because I'm going to have run differentials right here, which is not on this example, but there's going to be something called a run differential. I'll explain that once you'll see it, and then I'm going to have all these numbers in here too. So there's going to be a lot of stuff in there, but it's going to be a lot cleaner layout than this. All right, so now it says Orioles to bat in the 9th. It says no, they're favored not to bat in the 9th. So the mistake I made yesterday with the Guardians, it said that they were going to bat in the 9th, and it was a heavily minus 150. And sure enough, they ended up batting in the 9th, and they didn't come through. So this is the opposite of that. It's saying that the Orioles, they're at home, and they're not going to bat in the 9th, which means that the sports books believe that the Orioles will not have to bat in the 9th because they're going to be winning the game. So now we look at the hits market right here. The overall hits market does say Colorado should be going on the over 7.5. And then Colorado should be going over, and then Baltimore should be going under. But there's a big discrepancy here. You can see this is a 8.5. Let me zoom in a little bit. So this says Baltimore total hits under 8.5, and this says Colorado total hits 7.5. So there's a 2-hit differential. Okay, it's not 8.5 and then 8.5. It's 7.5 over, and then 8.5 under. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that the hits market is actually also favoring Baltimore. That's about it, guys. That's all I had. The only thing I don't like I said, is the little discrepancy where the Colorado have been inflated. Their numbers are inflated because they just came off of a long home stretch. But besides that, everything else matches the Orioles. And like I said, they beat the Guardians, and the Guardians are a lot better than the Rockies. Plus, they're going with Freeland, which sucks. So there's a lot of stuff there. Okay. What else do we got here? Red Sox? No, that's about it. All right, guys. So that's about it. Like I said, make sure you subscribe. I have 2 other batter props coming out on the short. And if you want this thing for free, send me a text message. Say, hey, I want the 30 days for free. And this is just simply called the Sharp Edge. That's also linked in the description. And it's going to have everything I just talked about. Like I said, this is not updated because I made a mistake yesterday. I'm still working on this, but it has the line move, the betting action, everything I just talked about is giving you like sharp money detected or fade the public, win probabilities, betting analysis. And this is going to have the 7 days, 15 days, and 30 days for batting and for pitching. The starting pitching is going to have it. The bullpen is going to have the team records and then different insights. Everything that I always talk about is going to be all on one page per game. So if you guys want that, you don't have to take a screenshot. Just send me a text message, but take a screenshot so you can have my number. And then send me a text and say, hey, I'm interested in the 30 days for free. Taking the Orioles, I have 2 batter props that are going to be in the YouTube short. And then there's about 11 batter props today, or I'm sorry, 10 batter props today already inside the VIP. So if you guys want to check that out, you can check us out. The link in the description for 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 6 months, or the rest of baseball. So I'm going to be putting out an offer for football as well. I'm going to be giving like a significant, maybe 75% off for football season. So football season is great. It's been great for us for 3 seasons now. So make sure you take advantage of that when you see it. Make sure you subscribe, guys. Thank you so much. Let's have a great day.